We're joined once again on Primetime Local News today by Rodych Eberle, and Lauren has been joining us through the month of January talking about a number of different things in regards to parenting and being a new mom. Thanks again for joining us today, Lauren.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, Lauren, today we are going to talk about some of the fun things that you can do as mom, first-time mom, and even, if you have multiple children. One of the things that you have been doing with your baby girl Collins is a tub swim. Now, this is a little bit unique, and obviously it's a little tougher for some people to get out with kids who like to swim because of, regulations and things happening now. So tell me about the tub swim and how this works to get her interested in being in the water.
Oh, it is fantastic. I always thought I wanted to get Collins into swimming early and do swim lessons. And now we've been able to, luckily, during COVID with KK Online Swim. So that's the company we take online swimming lessons with. And we just get in our swimsuits, get in the tub. We have an iPad app, but I think you could use a phone or a computer too. And we have the instructor right there. And we've learned so much that I'm excited for one day to get her in open water and to experience and practice all the things that we've been putting into use. But it's such a good bonding experience too, because even when we're not taking the lessons, that's an activity we do together. We hop in the tub and swim.
Why did you think it was important to get her started at a young age and get her used to being in the water? I know that obviously that babies are bathed on a regular basis, but to do it from the point of swimming and get her interested in showing her how to do that while she's still very, very young.
I think swimming is definitely a life skill that everyone should have if they have the ability to, for safety. And also we spend a lot of the time on a lake in the summer. So for Collins, I definitely wanted to make sure that she had water safety behind her. And as a perk, it's just a really fun activity to do.
And one of the things that you had talked about too is that there's a sensory type of a game that you play with her, just to, kind of get her started again early on a lot of these things. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we like to do a lot of sensory play, which is really good for a kid's development, but it's also just a fun thing for us to do because it once again switches up our activities. So I'll create kind of different crafts for Collins and then we'll play them together. So for example, this week we took an empty tissue box and I filled it with juggling scarves, the scarves you would see like a magician pull out of a hat. And we just filled up the tissue box with it and she pulls them out, puts them back in, pulls them out, puts them back in. It's really fun.
And another thing too, a lot of parents will start doing with their kids early is reading, and using a lot of the books that are meant for kids at a very young age. Why is it important to get kids hooked on books early in their life?
It's important for them learning to read, going to school, and also just the enjoyment of reading. So the earlier you can start, the better, I think. Partly too for parents getting used to it, because I say you don't really have a 2-year-old and then all of a sudden just pick up a book for the first time. So you getting the habit of making an activity is really beneficial. And Collins loves the reading. Sometimes we might even just be reading and she'll be crawling around the room, maybe playing with some other toys too. But I feel like she's grasping all the words and that will help for her language development too.
Well, and how do you continue to make it fun, Lauren? Because, with kids, sometimes their attention span isn't very long. So how do you kind of go day by day and just look to make it a fun day for her every single day?
I think a big thing is that I also try and have fun with it. So, I mean, even if I'm baking and she's on my hip baking with me, or if I'm playing the piano and she hops on and plays the piano too. So I think pulling your kids into the activities that you're doing as well makes it fun for everyone.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today, Lauren. And if anybody would like to follow you on Instagram, I guess would probably be the best place. And you have your website as well. Do you want to just give that information so we can let our viewers know how to reach you?
Yes, it's Rodych Eberle on both. So on Instagram at Rodych Eberle and on my website, laurenrodykeberle.com.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and we'll speak to you again next week.
Thank you. See you again.